All right, Coach Joyner, thank you so much for your time. Right, season is winding down, first year in the books. Can you just give me your overall takeaways of year one with your new team, new environment, new program?
Yeah, I think, there's a lot of growth that took place over the course of the season, from the first practice till our practice this morning. And there's definitely still a lot to do in the off season, but just, I'm so grateful to be here in so many ways. And, I think there was definitely moments of disappointment, really in outcomes, but more so just in like a lot of the injuries that we've been dealing with, and some of the adversity that we've, just faced with that. And, but really proud, really proud of the growth that we've done and had. And I don't know, I'm sad that it's coming to an end in a lot of ways. There's definitely moments in the season where I was like, when is this over? But now I feel, just like this team is so awesome and they've got such great personalities. So I'm excited for the future, but really grateful for the experience this past year.
Right. And you're no stranger to building programs from scratch, and going through those lumps and bumps throughout the year. So how important is it for your team to kind of remember to stay patient throughout this process? We're going to go through our lumps, but this is not who we are. We're not at our full form just yet.
Yeah, I think they know that. What's tough is like for the seniors, there's my goal and my objective is like we're playing the long game, and we know that this is just part of the process and building. What's tough is for the senior class that they would hope to have had a better senior year in terms of outcomes and experience, but I hope that they still enjoyed it and they felt like they were competitive, they were well coached, they enjoyed their experience. But yeah, I think that the younger players, they've got good perspective. Like they know the direction this is going, and they've seen those incremental growth that's taken place, and I think they're bought in. I'm excited, they're excited, and yeah.
Right. You have 9 seniors, right, to my understanding. You brought in, I believe, 23 players this year.
Yeah.
How hard is that going to be to replace 9 more players going into your second season?
No, you know what? It'll be tough, but that's growing pains. And, one of our values here is resilience and, embracing adversity and like loving the challenge and the consistency piece. And so, yeah, continuity wise, it's hard to lose such a big, impactful group. I love our senior class. They're big time, but yeah, excited for the young players coming in too, and they're going to be part of the process. But what's important is that the senior class has really laid a foundation and a legacy so that, in the off season we can continue to build, and that when that new group comes in next fall, they're dialed and they're ready.
Absolutely. And through 17 games this year, you guys have allowed fewer goals, right? So we've seen some progress from last year. So what has impressed you about this team?
I don't know. This is a really positive way, but like doing a lot with a little, like I said, the injuries and not having necessarily like the depth that we've needed to like really compete in the Big Ten, to have as many like games where we've been in it. And, what's amazing is like we've been in every game, and we're, a really good opportunity or good finish away from a couple different results here and there. And so, that's kind of it. Yeah.
And Kaylee Goldstein, right? Very experienced player, second most minutes in NCAA. How valuable was she to your team as far as leadership, just bringing that energy and experience to your squad this year?
It's big time. It's hard to win games when you don't know how to win games, and that's why like seniors and players with a ton of experience, that's what they bring. That's a lot of the value. And so Kaylee in particular, Jade, and a couple of other players like Taylor Bryan, they've been in a lot of different games and situations. So for Kaylee in particular, obviously having coached her for 4 years prior to this, it's been just awesome to see her maturity and her growth and her understanding of how to close out games and win games. And I certainly think that the reason that we've been so strong defensively isn't just because she's in goal and some of the saves that she's made, but because she's so good at organizing different layers, so not just the defensive unit but the midfield unit and the striker unit. So it's been great to have her leadership.
Absolutely. And you guys have battled all year, been in close games but not quite resulting in the wins that we want. But you talked about that resilience that you guys have shown. What have you seen from this team that you want to build on going into year 2? And where are some areas that you feel can be some focal points during this offseason for you guys?
I think the mentality is probably the most important thing in terms of growth, and that's why we're in games, is like the defensive mentality of like not quitting, not giving up, not taking play off. and being really hard to beat. That was one of our like non-negotiable goals, was being really hard to beat, and I think we've done that. We are a hard team to beat for sure. Like I said, we're in it. But moving forward, this is not a secret to anybody, but we need goal scorers. We need players that, have composure in front of goal, that can take advantage of opportune moments and put the ball in the back of the net. So that is a huge recruiting class coming in for us. We've got a lot of attacking players that, we're hoping can, get the job done for us, but also the offseason, that growth that we need from those attacking players that are currently on the roster. That's a major focal point for us, is, just the composure piece in front of goal and the technical execution.
Absolutely. You just mentioned you guys are hard to beat, but you have a tough opponent coming up as well, right? What have you seen on film that they do well? I know you don't want to give up too much of your scheme, your game plan, but where are some areas where you're like, okay, they're strong there, so we want to kind of...
They're a super hard team to beat as well. I think, UW's got a big time mentality, and, they know how to win games, and they're undefeated in conference. We'd love to be the team that, takes that zero away from that column. But yeah, I mean, their wingers are very good. They're super dynamic, but again, their best attacking players is also like, it plays well with us because our strongest line is our defensive line. But yeah, we're hoping that we get some, goals in the back of the net for sure, and that our attacking players can get the job done up top.
All right. And I always like to end like this for the seniors specifically, right? Their last game in college. Maybe, last game ever for some. That's
Sure.
just reality. What's your message to them as they invoke on this turning point in their playing careers?
Just keep doing what they're doing, but honestly, just like have fun and compete. And that's the best part. Like, enjoy every minute, enjoy every single, the warm up to the locker room, to the high fives, all of those things. Like that's the stuff that you remember. I mean, you certainly remember the wins and losses, but really, in 10, 20 years, and that's me talking, like looking back on my memories, it's really about a lot of the things, and just like the competition piece, and just being out there with your dudes, and like, playing and competing and challenging yourself, and, coming out stronger on the other side.